We are in Los Angeles, and the Rockies have really enjoyed their stay so far, and they'll enjoy it that much more if they can knock off the Dodgers once again on a beautiful Southern California afternoon. And we welcome you to Dodger Stadium. The Rockies come in 12 games above 500. The Dodgers still with the best record in baseball, despite the fact that they've lost 14 out of 15. They're at 92 and 50. Let's get to the Southwest batting order for the Rockies this afternoon against the left-hander Rich Hill. Charlie's naturally leading off. He's 5 for 12 in the series, couple ribbies to boot. Then DJ, Nolan Arenado, Trevor Story with his great numbers against lefties will bat cleanup this afternoon. Carr goes back in there. He'll bat fifth. Mark Reynolds, Raimel Tapia is getting a start in left field. Tyler Chatwood's in the 8th spot. Tony Walters 9. There's a reason for all of that. For more, let's check in with Mark Stout. Mark?
All right, Drew, I took a few notes about the batting order. You mentioned Trevor Story, his numbers against lefties, hitting .321 this year against lefties at 109 ABs. He's hit fourth 2 times previously this season. The Rockies have won both games. It hasn't been in quite some time. It was May 4th and April the 8th. Raimel Tapia as a starter hitting .289. You're talking about Rich Hill. Rich Hill the lefty. However, lefties have hit Rich Hill better than righties. .265 to a .199 batting average. That's another reason why Tony Walters is behind the plate and not, say, Ryan Hannigan spelling Jonathan Lucroy. Also, Bud likes the way that Tony Walters works with Tyler Chatwood. Chatwood is going to hit 8th. He made that little bit of changeup because we're not sure how long Chatwood is going to go in the game, but that's some of the ins and outs of this lineup, guys.
Yeah, so that is a very good explanation of why certain guys are in certain spots today. Rich Hill is an interesting cat, man. He's 37. He was a reliever part of the time. He's pitched for every team in baseball twice, I think, Spilly. But he saved his best for the latter part of his journey.
It's been amazing. 2015, he started in AAA, signed with the Long Island Ducks, was an independent ball, and about 3 weeks ago, took a perfect game into the 9th inning, lost it in the 10th with the Josh Harrison walk-off home run that Curtis Granderson almost robbed. It's been an amazing story, an amazing journey for a pitcher that really, if you start looking at how he goes about his business, will throw the curveball almost 40% of the time. It's an outstanding curveball that he mixes in with 3 different speeds. Baseball loves stories like this, stories of redemption, stories of just triumph. And for Rich Hill this offseason, signing a 3-year contract on top of it, it's been one of those Hollywood movie types.
Yeah, when you're in your late 30s, you're not usually getting to sign a long-term deal. His fastball is 89-90. In fact, he's the 3rd slowest in terms of velocity pitcher in the National League. And one of the guys that's that he's in front of is a knuckleballer, R.A. Dickey. The other guy's Kyle Kendricks. 1 ball, 1 strike. His fastball, though, is deceptive. It does play up. He's a native of Boston. He went to the University of Michigan back in the leather helmet days. I think Bo Schembechler was the coach in football when,
Old Bo.
when he was going there. Old Bo, yeah. 2 balls and a strike on old Charlie. Speaking of guys in their 30s playing like they're 22. And that curveball will make you buckle your legs, but that one was high, so it's 3-1. It's funny, Hill had that near perfect game, loses the no-hitter in the game in the 10th. He had a rough outing in his next start in Arizona. He followed that up and pitched a beautiful ball game, 6 innings against Arizona. Ended up getting the loss because the Dodgers couldn't score. So his last 3 outings, which included an almost perfect game, a no-hitter into the 10th, he's 0-3. His last outing gave up, as you see, just 2 hits on Monday, but it was a loss. 3-2. And there's the drop down. He'll do that, go sidearm, and he loses Charlie to begin things.
Second baseman, number 9.
Talk about a team in the Dodgers right now just trying to figure it out. The Dodgers lead baseball with the lowest amount of walks as a staff. And so leading off, Charlie Blackmon on his MVP campaign. What does he do? He walks.
So now Hill will look at DJ LeMahieu. DJ at 313. He's hit the ball hard at people in this series on several occasions. In fact, yesterday he lined out to right, he lined out to first. Remember, he had that smash in the first inning at Cody Bellinger after a double by Blackmon, and Blackmon was cut down at third, which is an unusual play. That's in there.
So you pointed out he has third lowest velocity from his fastball in baseball. But even with the 89 mile-an-hour fastball, hitters are hitting 196 against it.
Well, Austin Barnes remarked that his fastball plays like it's in the mid-90s. This is back up the middle, and that's a base hit on the curveball, and Charlie will stop at second base, and the Rockies are back in business. First and second, nobody out. And here comes the game's RBI leader, Nolan Arenado. Nolan knocked in another run yesterday, his 117th. DJ had his 16-game hitting streak snapped yesterday. He said, "The heck with that, I'm going to start another one."
The Rockies are going to be very aggressive with Rich Hill, and we saw it the other day with Clayton Kershaw. The Rockies, through the first 2 innings, they swung at 20 pitches of the first 33. And Rich Hill, who comes into today's game leading baseball with an 80% strike percentage, so expect the Rockies to be firing early.
Curveball for a strike on Nolan. Chance for the Rockies to do early damage. And this is up the middle and on through. Blackmon around third. Charlie will score. 1-0 Colorado. Seager was pulled over in the hole, and Nolan rolled it up the middle. RBI number 118. 3 hitters in. The Rockies are up 1-0 on Hill and the Dodgers.
The natives are getting restless here at Dodger Stadium, and it's 3 batters in. Even Rich Hill is looking at his catcher today, and Austin Barnes trying to figure out where that pitch was. It's where he wanted it located on the Subaru Supermo. See Nolan reaching out, just putting the ball in play, hits it hard enough to sneak through the infield. Continue to punch him, Rockies.
And now the guy who's absolutely mashed left-handed pitching, batting cleanup for the first time, as Mark told you, in a long time. And he swings at a curveball and misses. Trevor Story with an OPS above 1100 against lefties.
For all of Trevor Story's success against lefties, the 197 batting average against righties, it makes sense. With the lefty, the off-speed pitches come in towards him.
Nobody out. LeMahieu at second. Arenado is at first. There's that drop down, which you would think, Spilly, put yourself back in the batter's box against a lefty, absolutely effective. Against a righty, that's not going to do much, is it?
No, it actually helps you locate the pitch a lot better. I always loved it. Whenever a pitcher changed arm angle, it was great.
1-2. Good take from Story. 2-2. Rich Hill's one of those guys with kind of a vast repertoire, but it is primarily fastball, curveball. League hitting just 236 against his curveball. 2-2. Held up. 3-2.
So it's been 7 straight games for Rich Hill where he has given up at least 1 home run.
Last year, similar amount of innings, he'd given up only 4 home runs. This year, 16. 3-2. Ball 4. And that's 2 walks in the inning. Hill hasn't retired a soul, and here comes Cargo. And if you're wondering about past history, folks, there is no past history. Rick Honeycutt begrudgingly looks like going to the mound, because Rich Hill has not faced the Rockies since he was a member of the Chicago Cubs in 2008. Not too many of these guys were in the big leagues in 2008. Cargo in 2008 had gotten called up. He was with the Oakland A's. He's never faced Rich Hill. And in this series, Cargo has done damage. He hit a home run on Thursday. And then he started the ball game on Friday, lining the ball out the other way against Yu Darvish. Cargo is hitting .476 in September. Good walk by Story. He was behind early in the count.
Cargo, it was amazing to watch the transformation, just fixing the hands on his bat, how he was gripping the bat.
And that's up and in.
We pointed it out on Friday, and he talked about it, about making sure his knuckles were lined up and that he had the bat in his fingertips, not just wrapped around in his palm. And that allows him to control the barrel so much better. He hadn't hit a home run on the road since May.
And now he's got a 2-0 count to work with. A run already in, and the bases full of Rockies. Next pitch already the 20th for Rich Hill. And this ball's popped up in the infield. 1 out. That'll bring up Mark Reynolds. Let's take a look at the Dodgers defensively. Andre Ethier's getting a start in left field. He has not played a lot of defense the last 2 years. Heck, he hasn't played much baseball the last 2 years, but he's out there in left. Chris Taylor again in center. Granderson is in right. Turner, Seager, Forsythe, Bellinger in the infield. Barnes behind the plate. Now, from Hill's perspective, that's a big out. Now Reynolds. And Mark had a high-quality swing.
Well, Rockies at least minimum have to come out of this inning with 2 runs scored.
Well, Reynolds is one of the 3 guys in the Rockies dugout that has actually faced Hill. He's 0 for 3. Ian Desmond 1 for 3. Alexi Amarista 0 for 1. That's a called strike. 0-2. Mark Wegner behind home plate. Lance Barrett at first. Jim Reynolds at second. Ben May at third. And now it'll take a 2-out hit. So Rich Hill gets a pop out and a strikeout. And it'll be left to Raimel Tapia, who had a huge double earlier in this series. Tapia waves at that curveball. Rich Hill, throughout his career, has been a big strikeout guy. Always more than a hitter per inning. Hill pitching off the third base side of the rubber. I'm not surprised Hill tripled up on the curveball after that first swing by Tapia. He was badly fooled. Checked his swing on the second pitch, and then that third pitch was way off the plate. Bases loaded, a run in, 2 outs in the first. And that's a strike. Toppy's a pretty aggressive guy. It looked like he was expecting a curveball once again. 2-2. Now he's going to work out of that crouch, try to battle Rich Hill. Hill does a great job. The Rockies get a run. Disappointed, I'm sure, that they didn't get more. They had the bases loaded, nobody out. They had Hill on the ropes. 1-0. They were positioned to get more, and now they hand the baseball to a kid from Southern California, from the Redlands area, Tyler Chatwood, making his 22nd start. He's working out of the bullpen most of the last month. He started a few days ago and went 3 innings. And here's the Conoco what's in the tank, Billy.
Fastball 95 miles an hour with a good slider, curveball, and changeup. If he throws it for strikes, it's one of the lowest batting average against with his secondary. The problem is hitters are not swinging at anything Tyler's throwing. In fact, he has a 31% swing rate, which is the lowest in baseball.
His strike percentage of basically 44% is the 6th lowest in baseball. So you know the drill. And he knows it also. He's got to throw strikes. He throws up a curveball to Chris Taylor, misses there 1-1. Dodgers have walked more than any other team in baseball. And this is in the air to right field. Cargo with the shades down makes the catch. 1 out. Let's take a look at the Southwest batting order for Dave Roberts on this Sunday afternoon. He has his big 4, if you will, his core 4. Taylor, Seager, Turner, Bellinger up top. Then it's Barnes batting 5th. Curtis Granderson, who just was picked up recently from the Mets. Logan Forsythe, the home run in the 9th inning yesterday. Andre Ethier, pinch hit home run yesterday. 1 out. Seager at the plate. Shockingly, he swings at the first pitch and he lands at the center field.
Sure, when Seager goes over a scouting report, he just asks what is the first pitch this guy's going to throw.
That's all he cares about, right?
Continues to have more first pitch hits in the National League than anyone else.
That'll bring up Turner. Justin Turner's 3 for 9 in the series. He had 1 ball game off. That was on Thursday night. He's hit a home run in the series, driven in 3. Chatwood works down in the zone, ball 1. Two and 3 at 2.55 lifetime ERA at Dodger Stadium in 6 starts for Chatwood. And that's a base hit.
Justin Turner with the good timing with his leg kick. Another pitch in. The Rockies have been trying to get inside on Justin Turner. He's just so good at pulling his hands inside, making sure his barrel gets through the zone. That's the reason why he's one of the top hitters in baseball, hitting over 328 now.
He's second in the National League to Blackman in hitting. Now Bellinger. Story's playing a couple steps on the right side of the bag at second. That's where Chatty's been so good at inducing ground balls. His last start of 3 innings against the Giants was somewhat uneven. I mean, he gave up 4 hits and he walked 3, yet he didn't give up a run. A couple double plays behind him. That was over 3 innings. And it's 2-0. Chatwood has 2 gems in particular at Dodger Stadium in the big leagues. He went 8 innings in 2013, allowed only 1 run here. He went 8 innings in 2016 and allowed only 1 run in a start here. Two and 1. We were chatting before the ball game, and this kid's had a marvelous start to his career, Cody Bellinger. It is a big, big swing, which perhaps, correct me if I'm wrong, you can get away with a little bit more when you're young and your synapse, everything fires seemingly on time. You're never going to be quicker than when you're 22, 23 years of age. But it's got some length to it, doesn't it?
It does. But it also has some whip. I mean, it is powerful. It doesn't take a lot to load it up. Just basically rolls his front hip in, loads up the hip, and unwinds.
He's got long levers. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 2 on. He went. Wow. It looked like he went.
Ben made third base umpire today. Bellinger uncoiling. That's pretty darn close.
Three and 2 on Bellinger. Tony Walters doing the catching, and that's fouled off. I think another reason that Buddy is having Tony catch. Ryan Hannigan's been hurt with the groin injury. You need a guy who's really athletic to catch Chatwood because of the ball movement, and the ball honestly doesn't always show up where you set up. And we know how quick Tony is behind the plate. Got him. big strikeout. He went after him at 98, Spilly.
We saw Tyler Chatwood touch 99 last week. The fastball's been there. He's slowly gotten stronger and stronger, which is now almost 2 years since having Tommy John. When Tyler's connected and he's driving the baseball through the zone, the ball explodes out of his hand with late movement. There's no question Tyler's stuff is elite. His stuff is elite. The movement, the spin rate on curveballs, it's just throwing strikes.
Austin Barnes, 2 outs. He's done a lot of damage against right-handed pitching this year. Pitch just inside. Barnes batting .357 against righties. And it's 2-0.
I feel like the last 2 pitches for Tyler were in good spots.
Rockies up 1-0, bottom of 1. Seager at second, Turner at first, a pair of singles. That's a good pitch. Slider at the bottom of the zone, 2-1.
You see the first 2 pitches right inside on the Subaru strike zone, same spot. If Tyler continues to stay around the plate, Dodger hitters will eventually start swinging at those pitches.
And a ground ball to short. Story will go the short way. End of inning. So Chatwood gets out of it. He had 2 men on with 1 out. He got a big strikeout of Bellinger and a weak ground ball from Barnes. 1-0 Rockies. Baseball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by the 2017 Toyota Tundra in your hometown Toyota stores. By Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. By Papa John's. Use code ROXWIN for 50% off at papajohns.com the following day. And by Southwest Airlines. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Rockies lead 1-0 after 1. It is 8-9-1 in the Rockies lineup, and Buddy Black doing something a little different today because he wasn't sure how many innings he would get out of Tyler Chatwood, he felt like it would be prudent to bat Tyler 8th today. And so Walters is behind him. And Rich Hill misses badly with the first fastball. Rockies had Hill on the ropes in the first. They got a run on a base hit by Nolan. After a single by DJ, Charlie led things off with a walk. Then Story walked to load the bases, nobody out. Cargo on a 2-0 pitch, probably the biggest pitch of the inning, pops out. And then he was able to strike out Reynolds and strike out Tapia to avert a disastrous start.
There's no doubt the Rockies let Rich Hill off the hook.
It's not often you jog out to the field, Spilly, after getting a run and feel like, boy, that doesn't feel great. This ball is picked up nicely by Turner, and he'll throw out Chatwood. The Coors Light Cold Hard Facts are brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light. So we have all this going on in this series. The Rockies had not won 3 straight at Dodger Stadium in the same season since '08. They took care of that with a victory last night, 6-5. They had not won 3 straight against the Dodgers overall in a season since 2012. Last 4-game win streak against the Dodgers, period, 2010. They have swept the Dodgers twice in a 4-game series, once in '07 in Denver, and in '93, as Walters lines out. In '93, their inaugural season in August, they had a 4-game sweep here.
Number 19, Charlie Blackmon.
Of course, there was the most famous sweep of the Dodgers in LA that you were a big part of in that great run in late September of 2007. 6-game road trip, 3 in San Diego, highlighted by Brad Hopp's 14th inning home run.
Right.
And then the 3 here at Dodger Stadium. Charlie takes a strike. 2 outs, nobody on. Charlie walked on a 3-2 pitch his first time up and came around to score yet another run, his 3,700th this year.
Ow.
And he wears that one. Hill drops down. And Charlie with 2 outs is aboard. Hill's all over the place with his fastball. I know that was a drop down, but he is not.
Number 9, DJ LeMahieu.
He's had sporadic command of his fastball. Is that fair?
That's fair. And here's a guy that was throwing 80% of his pitches for strikes. Today it's been a grind for Rich Hill.
I
34
hope it
pitches.
continues.
Yeah, 34 pitches, 35 now. Only 20 strikes.
LeMahieu a base hit up the middle. Rich Hill's career, he was drafted by the Cubs, spent 4 years in the big leagues there, went to Baltimore, 3 years in his hometown of Boston. That misses. On to Cleveland, then the Angels, then the Yankees, all in the same season, back to Boston in 2015, Oakland in 2016. Traded down here. And then as a free agent, and you mentioned this, Billy, he signs a 3-year deal. It's prior to his 37th birthday. Who gets 3-year deals when they're 37?
They just love what Rich Hill has become. That he understands that how his fastball works. He understands how his curveball works.
That's called strike, 2-1. All right, see if I can stump you. How many 10+ win seasons does Rich Hill have in his career, which began in 2005?
I don't know, 0.
That's fouled off. He has 2. In his 3rd big league season, he went 11-8 with the Cubs in 32 starts, which is a career best. And then in 2016, when he spent part of the year with Oakland and part of the year down here with the Dodgers, he ended up going 12-5 that year. That's it. 47-35 in his career. 242 games. Today is his 116th start. Charlie takes off, and it's fouled off.
Well, he's 9-7 on the year, so he has a chance to get to 10 this season. But as we were pointing out, the last 3 losses for him, one of them was a near perfect game.
Yeah, that was crazy. He threw 98 pitches. There was an error leading off the 9th inning by Kike Hernandez, I believe. And then he's got a no-no going to the 10th. 99th pitch, first pitch of the 10th. Harrison hits out. Charlie started to break, but to Austin Barnes' credit, he got to the baseball quickly.
Well, I feel like the Rockies are going to test Austin Barnes today. Maybe after Rich Hill comes out of the game. Barnes has only caught 22% of base stealers, which is very low.
Let me correct something. I said Kike Hernandez. It was Logan Forsythe. My apologies to Kike, his family, and all his close personal friends.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be associated with that error.
No. 3-2, and this ball's well hit right center field. Granderson near the track, and on the track will make the catch. So LeMahieu gave it a ride. Rockies do not score in their half of the second. They do have a 1-0 lead.
High-speed challenge last day here in Hollywood. So we've got a question about baseball movies. What's your favorite? The Sandlot, Bull Durham, Field of Dreams, Major League? You vote. We'll show you the answer in the postgame. Just go to @ATT SportsNet RM. Guys?
Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid.
That's not. No.
Baseball movie, Drew.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mark, what's your favorite one? I feel like you're so hot down there too in those rhinos.
I'm a Field of Dreams guy. I also got to go there. We filmed the Rockies Weekly there. It was pretty cool.
At Iowa?
Yeah.
I love Field of Dreams. Ground ball. This could be a tough play for Story. Didn't get him. Granderson hit that in the only spot probably he could to get a base hit on the right side.
There was almost a high-speed collision between Trevor and DJ. Chopper right in between DJ and Trevor, and you could see Trevor's right foot. I can't tell if it's his right or his left, but he hit clips with DJ. That was That's a close play.
So a leadoff single for Granderson. Logan Forsythe at the plate. How big was that run, Spilly, that the Rockies got in the top of the ninth against Kenley Jansen to make it 6-4 at the time? Turned out to be huge because Forsythe went deep leading off the inning in the bottom half of the ninth to make it 6-5. But despite 50,000+ on their feet and screaming loudly, Greg Holland nailed it down. Charlie and Cargo. Charlie will make the catch.
Left fielder, number 16, Andre.
We have not taken a look at the guys on defense for the Rockies. We'll do that now. Tapia is in left field. Charlie Blackmon in center, and Cargo is in right. And if you're wondering about Parra, who's killed lefties this year, a scheduled day off. Keep him fresh, get him ready for Arizona. Arenado, Story, LeMahieu, Reynolds, with Tony Walters doing the catching. Jonathan Lucroy caught the first 3 ball games. Jonathan did his typically very fine job handling his pitching staff, throwing out hits, getting on base at a high rate. Been a really nice addition for Jeff Bridich and his crew. What's Parra doing?
So he's shaving some of his scales off his hands.
Come again?
You get calluses over the course of a season.
You made him sound like a fish.
I know. I was teasing. I was saying he had scales. But you shave them down because they get long. The more and more that you hit over the course of the year, the more calloused your hands become, and you'll see guys will occasionally shave the calluses down. Because if those calluses get too big and it gets hot, they'll rip off your palm, off your hand, and now you can't hit.
1-1 on Andre Ethier. One and two. He had a long home run last night off the bench. It's been a long couple of years for Ethier. Back ailment this year. Last year he appeared in only 16 games, 5 for 24. And this year he has 11 at bats. That's a whole lot of rehabbing.
He had those stretch years between 2008, hit 20 home runs. He follows it up the next year in 2009 with 31, 23 in 2010. This is one of the main cogs of the Dodgers lineup.
One out, Granderson at first. Here's the 1-2. And that's a great job. That's exactly why Tony's doing the catching today. Look where he set up, look where the ball arrived. Coming in the mid-90s with movement. For a lot of catchers, that's go fetch.
It's almost like catching a knuckleball pitcher when you're catching Tyler Chatwood. Not sure where the ball's going to be.
And that's a base hit for Ethier.
Number 44, Rich Hill.
That'll bring up Rich Hill. This is a bullpen day by design for the Rockies. Worked out last time Chatwood took the hill. Rockies have now Tyler Anderson added to the mix, who can go long. Antonio Senzatella. Hill has gotten down. This is kind of surprising. He's gotten down just one sack bunt this year.
It's not like he hits.
Well,
Look
he goes
out.
slow bunt. That to me speaks volumes about where Dave Roberts feels this club is. That a guy who has nasty stuff in Chatwood, albeit he's not always around the strike zone, against a guy who's not much of a hitter, and you go slug bunt when you have Taylor on deck, who's one of your guys. If you get the bunt down second and third, I know it's 2 outs, but Dodgers offense has been struggling. A lot of areas they're struggling. 0-2, and he's gone. So a strikeout, and that's big. 2 outs, and now Taylor comes up with runners at first and second.
Now there's times that a pitcher will pull back and try to slug on his own. So I'm not sure if it was Dave that put the slug bunt on, or if Rich Hill did it on his own.
If you see movement in the middle of the infield, typically that's where you'll see a guy do it on his own. The Rockies were playing it conventionally with their bunt defense. There wasn't a wheel play on. Taylor hit a fly ball to right his first time up. And a line drive at Nolan. He's got it. End of inning. That was a bullet. Nolan's got it, and we move on to the third. The Rockies up 1-0, and Nolan will lead it off when we return.
There's Nolan. He'll lead it off. Just had the catch and stepping into the batter's box. Last day in LA, we thought we'd talk about some baseball movies. So, hey, Nolan, what's your favorite baseball movie?
Yeah, I would probably go with The Sandlot. It's probably my number one. I mean, just such a classic. Puts you in a good mood. I mean, you can have a bad day, and if The Sandlot's on, it's going to make you, you're going to go to bed in a little bit better mood for sure.
He's got The Sandlot, guys.
Sandlot's good film. I'm with you, Mark. I'm very partial to Field of Dreams, Bull Durham, classic. There's been a lot of great baseball movies.
The last one that I watched was Mr. 3000 with Bernie Mac.
I don't think I saw that one.
I had this conversation the other day with people talking about baseball movies, and there's a couple that stand out. All right, Summer Catch, 8 Men Out, great movie. But the actor's portrayal of being a baseball player takes away from me now.
See, I'm with you, Spilly. If I see somebody that it does not look like the guy ever picked up a baseball in his life, I'm out. And shame on Hollywood just because they want to put some actor in there. The guy's got to have some ability.
You have to have some.
That's why it worked with Redford. It worked with Costner.
Yeah.
Because they had played a little bit. You could tell. I mean, their actions at least looked like they were baseball players.
Freddie Prinze Jr. does not look like a top prospect to me.
No, stop. 3-1. This ball is in the air to deep left field. It's got a chance to fly way back. Touch them all. Nolan Arenado once again. His 32nd of the year. And the Rockies have a 2-0 lead. 17th home run allowed by Rich Hill.
That's 8 straight games for Rich Hill, giving up a home run. Nolan came into today's game hitting over 400 against lefties. He continues to beat them up. He loves to play here at Dodger Stadium in front of his friends and family. And Subaru Supermo, he knows it. It's a pretty good week when you're taking Clayton Kershaw deep and Rich Hill deep in the same weekend.
He's, the Rockies as a whole mash left-handers. There's a strike on Trevor. We've told you what he's done. They have 7 guys in their lineup hitting over 300 against lefties. Here's the other thing. Of all the lefty starters they faced, and they're 24-16 against lefty starters this year. That's also a strike, 0-2. There's only one starting pitcher from the left side who threw shutout baseball against it in whatever length of time they were in the ball game. You name who it was? You remember when I say it. James Paxton of Seattle. This ball's lined toward left center field's got to get down, and Ethier, who's far removed from his best days as an outfielder, makes a fine play.
Trevor squares it up, and this has some top spin to it. So there's a degree of difficulty for Andre in left field. Sliding on the Subaru Supermo.
And before the back ailments and some of the other maladies of the last couple of years, Andre was a very good outfielder. He played a lot of right, but he'd go and play center field too. Cargo got that big curveball, 0-1. But James Paxton threw 6 shutout. Remember how dominant he was?
He was nasty that night.
That's the only guy on the left side that has completely shut down this Rockies offense. One, 2-1. You know, Cargo wants that pitch back in the first inning. Bases loaded, 2-0 count. And nobody out. And he got jammed. Popped out to short. 3-1. And again, fastball command, not where it typically is for Rich Hill.
That Cargo at bat. Hit a fly ball to the outfield, it's a sac fly. Even if you hit a ground ball in the infield, double play, you still score a run.
This ball is lined to deep center, but playable. Taylor makes the catch. 3 pretty good swings this inning for the Rockies.
Number 12,
Mark Reynolds coming up. Folks, join in on the conversation. Use Twitter or Instagram at AT&T Sportsnet RM, and do not forget to use the hashtag Toyota Talk. Otherwise, you're just wandering around in internet space.
Twitter purgatory.
Twitter purgatory. Home run by Nolan, and the Rockies up 2-0. Here's Reynolds. We've discussed this. For whatever reason this year, Mark's been much better right on right than against lefties. He's one of the few guys that has struggled against lefties. This ball well hit the center, and it's caught on the edge of the track by Taylor. So the Rockies barrel up 4 baseballs. One travels beyond the fence. They call that a home run. Rockies up 2-0.
Bottom of the 3rd inning, Corey Seager will lead off the inning. We want to kind of look at the magic number for the Rockies, which is at 18. Perfect, he hit a foul ball. When you're looking at the numbers, we're trying to figure out what player is this number 18. There's so many great 18s in the history of the Colorado Rockies. That looks like Corey Sullivan. Bruce Ruffin was number 18, the original.
I like this new exercise we do every day.
It's great. Mike DeJean was an 18. Jose Hernandez, Andy Tracy, great pinch hitter. There's Corey Sullivan, 2007, 2008.
The Bean wore 18.
I know, and Christian Adames. We love the Bean. That was the one I thought of initially. I guess we kind of like Corey more, though.
He's one of us. Swung on a miss. Seager strikes out on 3 pitches. 3rd strikeout for Tyler Chatwood. That's a big first one. And here comes
Justin
Turner. We did this. I think Dougie looked it up because DeBean's name came up a couple months ago. I think he's playing in Mexico.
Is he?
I believe he is.
I wonder what player we're going to highlight with 17.
I don't know. Probably a long list of guys who have to go over that. Open up the media guide. Inside, ball 1 on Turner. He pulled a base hit through short and 3rd on the line in the 1st inning. 2 men on in the 1st with 1 out. Chatwood would strike out Bellinger, get Barnes on a ground ball. 2 men on in the 2nd. He got Rich Hill trying to bunt. Struck him out, and then Chris Taylor hit a rocket, but it was right at Nolan. 1-1. 2-0 Colorado. Nolan has driven them both in, as surprising as that may be to you. Single in the 1st, home run in the 3rd.
Good curveball by Chatty.
Right there's just evidence of how good his stuff is. You rarely see Turner swing and completely miss in consecutive pitches. Big star at Cal State Fullerton. Here's the 1-2.
Still love the story of Justin Turner and his time with the New York Mets. It was just happen chance that Marlon Byrd joins the Mets, and with Marlon Byrd started talking to Justin about the leg kick.
Ground ball to second. And one of the things that helped, as you know, Spilly, is Marlon Byrd lives in Los Angeles. So in the off season, they were able to get together and work on what Byrd was trying to teach him with that leg lift. Two outs. Here's Bellinger. Struck him out on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Chatwood was going to go to UCLA if he didn't sign. Angels drafted him high. He wanted to be a two-way player at UCLA, wanted to play shortstop also. And Chatwood misses badly. It's 3-0. Dodgers have lost 9 straight. And a 4-pitch walk. Last time the Dodgers had lost more than 8 straight at home, 1992, quarter century ago. Chatty's pitch count's actually really good. 15 pitches an inning. Austin Barnes 2 outs. You could hear from the dugout after the 5th pitch in a row missed. They yelled for Tony to go out. Couldn't decipher the voice. I don't know if it was Mike Redmond, the bench coach, or Buddy, or a combination of both of them, or Foster as well. See Mike Redmond on the top step. Former manager, super bright guy who caught. And I think all the guys that are leading teams who establish themselves behind the plate. That's a called strike, 2-1.
Well, it makes sense with catchers because they know the game's in front of them, right? Everybody on the field is looking at the catcher. They have to know the signs for the pitchers. They have to know the infield defenses. They have to know the inside, the in and outs of the game more than anybody on the field. An outfielder, we're in La La Land. We're just chewing sunflower seeds.
It's like he may have called a pitch. I'm sure that doesn't happen every pitch. It's the big leagues, but it looked like he called that pitch. That, or he wanted a check of the runner at first. 3-1. And that pitch was borderline.
Well, Mark Wagner is not given the inside part of the strike zone, and we've seen it throughout the day on the Subaru strike zone. Now,
Now, after getting 2 quick outs, you just walked yourself into a problem. And And you got Granderson coming up.
Number 6.
It's been frustrating for Tyler, and obviously trying to manage Tyler when he's out there. And he's rolling along, and all of a sudden now you're thinking you may need to make a phone call to bullpen just in case. Because sometimes when it unravels, it happens quickly and out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. I think they were
He's
expecting
rolling.
that.
He got Seager. He spun Turner around a couple of times with great pitches. Got a weak ground ball to second. Looks like it's going to be a quick inning, and now he has trouble throwing strikes. Granderson at the plate. He singled his first time. Infield hit. And now you get squeezed a little bit because you're not around the zone.
The pitches are just outside of the Subaru strike zone.
And I shouldn't say, Mark Wegner, that's a correct call. That pitch was off the plate. Center field, and an easy play for Charlie. So despite the 2 walks, Tyler works out of it. We move on to inning number 4. Tapia lead off. The Rockies up 2-0.
Top Hollywood side above LA as we go to the 4th with the Rockies up 2-0. Thinking about Hollywood, we asked the guys about their favorite baseball movies. Asked Buddy Black about one, and he came up with Rookie of the Year.
So anyway, I was watching the movie for the first time. This was, whenever it came out, 15, 20, 30 years, whatever it was. I go, hey, Jesse, that's me. That was I was watching it with my daughter, but she likes that movie too, Rookie of the Year. Henry Rowe and Gardner. Hey, good fastball.
He was in the movie. He was on the Giants then, and that movie came out in '93. Tapia takes a strike, and the Giants were playing the Cubs, and I guess they filmed an aerial shot, and he saw himself sprinting in the outfield. So pretty excited about Rookie of the Year.
There's quite a few ties to people that we know that have been in several movies, baseball movies. Corey Sullivan was in Summer Catch. He was an outfielder on one of those Cape Cod teams.
Wasn't Walt Weiss, Drew, didn't he say he was in Field of Dreams?
Well, boy, I'm trying to remember.
Was some of the guys at North Carolina that played with him? Or Bull Durham? They were extras.
Yeah, that would make more sense,
Yeah,
being in
that's
Carolina.
Right. Yeah, that's what Walt said. Some of the guys he was with down in North Carolina were extras in Bull Durham.
Well, and if you remember, Rich Dower used to be the third base coach for the Rockies. He has a speaking line in Bull Durham, so he's in the International Movie Database.
There's a base hit up the middle for Raimel Tapia. So the Rockies have speed aboard, leading off in the 4th inning. Chatwood coming up. Fans, if the Rockies score 7 or more runs, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Liv Moss at Taco Bell. Well, Buddy told a story also that we all heard. And in terms of being an extra in a movie, Buddy's story trumps anybody's type of Corey being in, it's great. Good, awesome. Buddy's dad, who played hockey at Southern Cal, because they had a hockey program back in the day, was an extra in Gone with the Wind. He was a dead Confederate soldier. What they would do, he got $10 for doing it. What they did back then is the studios would come over and they'd pluck a lot of athletes off the Southern Cal campus for extras. 2-0.
Rich Hill just does not have fastball command.
But you got to take advantage. In the first, the Rockies did not. When they had the bases loaded, nobody out, they got just 1 run. And that was prior to having the bases loaded. They had the home run from Nolan. Sketchy command for Hill. Everybody's eyes, flew open when Buddy broke that one out. An extra and Gone with the Wind, one of the all-time films. Another movie that Buddy broke out, which I don't know if you've ever seen, because the film came out in '78. What were you doing in '78?
That wasn't a thought yet.
3-1. Robert De Niro banged the drum slowly. De Niro was a catcher who got cancer. And the thing that I remember most about that film, they play a card game in the clubhouse, right? You played a million card games in the clubhouse. And Tapia is going to move up.
Nice.
He was on the base. What base running by Tapia? The bunt was caught, and Tapia, I don't know if I've ever seen a guy move up on a play like that.
Dave's going to come out and challenge, but Tapia's standing on the bag, so he's technically tagged up.
Let's make sure he is.
We have to pay attention and see if Austin Barnes, he lays out, and whether he caught it.
You know what? He didn't go back.
No.
That's going to be a double play.
Well, I'm looking to see if Austin Barnes, if the ball popped out at all and landed on the dirt. Yeah, it might have landed on the dirt.
Oh, yeah, it did, because he reached and grabbed it again. Do you know what? That's a great angle of it. Now, if they come back and say it's a double play, Buddy will challenge it. I don't know if we can watch here. Ball bounces. Now you think, well, did he catch it here? Now watch his hand again. I don't know. Now that one, I'm not sure. That one may be in the glove. First time I saw it, I thought it did come out. This one should be definitive.
Oh, what a play.
Yeah, he slapped it into his glove. That's a double play. You and I thought the same thing. We thought that he'd gone back to the bag.
This ends up being a double play for the Rockies just over the last couple of days. Even though they've won, they need to tighten up their execution. Had an opportunity in the first inning to add more runs. Weren't able to execute with the quality of bat. And Chatwood, an opportunity to just move Tapia over, failing to get the bunt down with the double play, now puts this inning in jeopardy.
It hit him in the head, too. It's going to stand, and it's the right call. And now, Spilly, take us through it from Tapia's standpoint. If you think he caught it, if you're not sure, you can't just take off.
Can't just take off. Just stay at first base.
Walters at the plate with 2 outs now, nobody on.
Tapia had to think that the ball hit the ground.
Well, he probably saw the ball pop up in the air again, which makes it a difficult read. 2-0. So quickly, that card game and bang the drum slowly. There were no rules. You just all of a sudden would yell out a term and take the pot. That's a triple Zamboni. Oh, yeah. Shoot, Spilly's got a triple Zamboni.
I win.
There's the strike, 2-2. Tony lined out to third his first time up. That film actually came out in '73, not '78.
Rockies baseball is always live with the MLB.com at Bat mobile app. Stay connected all season with video highlights, stats, news, and more.
2-2. End of inning. The Rockies will carry a 2-0 lead to the bottom of the 4th. Today's Rockies news and notes are brought to you by All Copy Products. Tyler Anderson, we discussed this earlier, was reinstated. There's a strong possibility you'll see him today in relief, at least potentially. Jairo Diaz, to make room, was recalled from AAA Albuquerque today and placed on the 60-day DL with right elbow inflammation. These are a couple roster updates. First pitch from Chatwood in the 4th inning misses to Logan Forsythe. It's 7-8-9 here in the 4th inning. I think, Buddy would be thrilled if he can get Chatty through 4 innings, maintaining this 2-0 lead. This ball's pretty well hit. Cargo will make the play.
If Chatwood can get through this inning, you're right, Drew.
16.
Give him 4 innings. Matches up very well for the Rockies too if they do decide to use Tyler Anderson. And then you can start matching up what bullpen arms you have available to you today. Probably like to just get Tyler 2 times through the lineup and then give the Dodgers a different look.
And if they bring in Anderson, that's a completely different look.
Well, and that's the beauty of today is this lineup was designed for a right-handed pitcher, so you're going to flip him over.
That's another good pitch. Well located. 2 strikes on Ethier, who lined a base hit to left his first time.
The Dodgers are 15th best in baseball versus lefties, 20th best with a .250 batting average versus righties.
And another base hit for Ethier. There's 3 hits in this series and 3 at-bats. Who needs the first 5 months of the season, right?
44, Rich Hill.
You know, talking to some people around the Dodgers, trying to figure out what Andre's role is going to be, if he would make a playoff roster, how they would want to construct the roster for this playoff run that the Dodgers are on. And I think with what he's shown the last 2 days for Dave Roberts, there's some value for Andre.
His presence to Ethier, and he has the ability to go deep. And you look at play he made in left field, so he still has the ability to defend. And Hill stabs at another pitch. It's 0-2. Chatwood struck him out while he was trying to bunt in the 2nd inning.
Another case where even on the Dodgers side, lack of execution of getting bunts down.
And once again, Rich Hill fails to help his cause, and now they're 2 outs, and that'll bring up Chris Taylor.
It's going back to that inning where he failed in the 2nd inning. It would have been 2nd and 3rd with Chris Taylor. And granted, the way that baseball plays out doesn't mean that Taylor would have had the same pitch, but Nolan might not have been in the same spot that he was standing with runners at 1st and 2nd as he could have been if he was with runners at 2nd and 3rd. He might have been shaded a little closer to the bag, and that's a base hit.
Good point. Home run cut from Taylor. 0-1. That line out in the 2nd, and a fly ball to right field as well for Chris Taylor. Rockies have Carlos Estevez and Zach Ross Cup up. That's right now for this inning. You know, we keep talking about Tyler Anderson. If he shows up, if your buddy, you want him to show up where he's working out of the windup to start an inning fresh, which is more his comfort zone. He's a starting pitcher. One ball, two strikes on Taylor. Strike three, outside corner. He brought a 97-mile-an-hour fastball back. And Chatwood has done a terrific job through 4 innings. He navigated a little traffic. 2-0 Colorado. Yeah, that NL Central hasn't been decided, and obviously both teams putting heat on the Rockies. Here's the 0-1 on Charlie, and now it's 0-2 on Charlie. The Cardinals out of nowhere, riding a strong pitching staff, and they've been winning a lot of baseball games.
It's about to be a total card jam with the Cubs and the Brewers. The Brewers went into Chicago and swept the Cubs.
St. Louis has, do they have 7 more with Chicago? Rockies up 2-0. And it's 1-2 on Charlie. He's been on twice. Walked in the first, hit by a pitch in the second. The Rockies have had base runners every inning against Rich Hill. Hill has not faced the Rockies since April of 2008. Wore a Cubs uniform. This is slicing down the left field line, and Ethier's got to bail out.
So the Nationals have already clinched. They're the first team in Major League Baseball to have clinched their division. The Dodgers, you would have expected with 92 wins. 92 wins is the most wins for a Rockies organization in their history. They're sitting on 92 and 50 right now.
You know, as hot as Arizona was, and they kicked one last night. They lost the other day legitimately to San Diego to end their 13-game winning streak. But last night, they're up 7-2 in the ninth, and they lose that baseball game. Playing woulda, coulda, shoulda. Can you imagine LA where they are right now, and they're in this deep funk? If it was an 8-game lead, if Arizona had continued on their roll and won both of those games against the Padres, now all of a sudden there's a little bit of panic going on.
You can't just turn it on.
2-2. And Rich Hill strikes out Blackman. 4 strikeouts for Hill.
Brewfest is back on Saturday, September 16th. Purchase the ticket special to receive 6 drink tickets and a Rockies-themed Brewfest item. Go to Rockies.com/Brewfest for more information.
DJ takes ball 1, a base hit, and a fly ball to the warning track in right, gathered in out there by Curtis Granderson. The Rockies have won 5 straight on the road, which matches their longest win streak away from home this year. Overall, the Rockies have won 5 out of 6. Last 2 wins by 1 run. They're 20-11 in 1-run games this year, which is the 2nd best winning percentage in baseball to the Mariners. Mariners are 26-13 in 1-run affairs.
Josh Fields is starting to warm up now for the Dodgers, and when you're looking at Rich Hill has been fighting blisters. He's only gone more than 7 innings a handful of times.
And that's a called strike 3 on LeMahieu. Well, here comes the problem child for Rich Hill. Nolan Arenado, single up the middle to drive in a run in the first, home run to the Dodger bullpen in the 3rd. That's why the Rockies are ahead 2-0.
Nolan gets a fastball up and in. Right where he likes it. Nolan with the foul ball off his shin guard as he spun. I believe he clipped Austin Barnes with his bat.
Two strikes.
Hey, Mark, how hot is it down on the field?
I've been rotating my chair here away from the sun, so it's about a bagillion degrees.
Bagillion?
Yeah, something like that.
Take your jacket off, Mark.
I can't take my jacket off now. I had it on, and I've sweated through my shirt, so you can't see my shirt.
Oh, now you have to take off.
I can't.
The coat. Yes, please.
You got to do it,
I've already
Mark.
done this week a T-shirt, sleeveless.
Listen, Mark, all those guys battling Irma.
Yeah.
As this will be the 3rd out.
I hear you.
They're
I know
in
where
a
you're
torrential
going.
downpour. You're okay, man. It's the weather.
See how wet you are.
Yeah, that's
oh my
fine.
gosh.
Not doing it.
Not bad. You're all right. Here's our Kubota pitching performance. So far, Tyler Chatwood, he's dealt with traffic, but he's not allowed to run, and that is the most important category that you're looking at. And he's out there for the 5th inning. He's got Corey Seager at the plate, and it's a comebacker. Tyler will flip it over to Mark Reynolds, 1 out. So Chatwood had a brief conversation with Buddy Black that we weren't privy to the words spoken, but we did visually see it in the commercial break before the Rockies came up, and I guess Tyler assured him that he was still strong enough to continue on even after 63 pitches entering the inning.
He said after the last start that Chatwood had, where he went 3 innings, 61 pitches, that he was a little tired. He said it. He said, hey, it wasn't the same as relief pitching. I know I'm not stretched out like I was when I was a starter, but it took him a while to catch his breath. Today, obviously, he slowed the pace down. He was nice and efficient through the first couple innings. He looks fresh. He looks fine.
Yep. He's ahead 1 strike on Turner. Single and a ground ball to second for Turner. 2-0 Colorado in the 5th. And that's a strike. Turner didn't like it. It was there. In fact, according to our Subaru strike zone, the at-bat's over. We've added a pitch.
Well, no, the very first pitch was so good, it split into 2.
If you can do that, I mean, how tough would you be to hit?
Impossible.
Thus, the pitch known as the splitter that Bruce Sutter made famous. Here's the 1-2. And this is on the ground to short. Story with the long throw and an accurate one, helped out at first by Reynolds. 2 outs, nobody on. Someone please go buy Mile High Mark a t-shirt. Well, I think it's a little late for that. Does Mark have an umbrella down there now?
No, he's just cooked stout.
Mark,
I don't have an umbrella.
Mark,
Yeah.
on a scale of 1 to 10,
Yeah.
how miserable are you?
You know what? You know, I'll give it a mediocre 5.
That's it?
Really?
It's not that bad.
Tough guy.
You know, the top button on my shirt popped off today too, so I can't undo my tie because it's kind of holding my shirt together.
You're just a train wreck.
Yeah. I'm holding that button in my. You know how they always give you an extra button on your shirt?
Yeah.
Well,
Did you find it? Well, who's
yeah.
going to sew it on?
It's supposed to go here.
Yeah.
That's like the when a turkey's cooked and done, that thing pops up. You're done. You're done, Stout.
Is that what that means?
Dinner time. Yeah.
Yeah, you're all done. 2-0 on Bellinger. 2-1. Who's sitting next to Stout on the plane? We're gonna have to put him in his own compartment. Two-one, good-looking pitch. 2-2. Bellinger, strikeout and a walk. Chatwood was letting that one eat. He knows this probably is going to be his last inning.
Might be his last batter.
Yeah, Rockies have both Estevez and Ross Cup up again, and this one is popped up out of play. I said it so many times. You love how Tyler Chatwood competes. He's an enigma at times, though. Great stuff. Always battling command. On the ground, fair. And the 1-2-3 inning for Chatwood through the heart of the Dodger order. His first 1-2-3 inning of the ball game. To the 6th we go, 2-0 Rockies. Subaru, love it's what makes a Subaru by the Tavern Downtown. Visit the Tavern Downtown after Rockies home game to get 2-for-1 draft beers with your same-day ticket. Buy Coors Light, whatever your mountain, climb on. And by the Wyoming Office of Tourism, Wyoming is full of adventure. It's time to find out if you are too. That's why TravelWyoming.com. The Rockies have traveled. They're in the City of Angels, and they lead 2-0, trying for their first 4-game sweep in L.A. since 1993, which is also their only other 4-game sweep. And the Southern Cal native Tyler Chatwood, outstanding. 5 shutout innings. He's going to watch Trevor Story hit here in the top of the 6th inning. And there's a new pitcher. Josh Fields is in there for the Dodgers after 5 innings of Rich Hill. One ball, 1 strike. Cargo on deck. Mark Reynolds after that.
Fields has great numbers this year with the 5-0, 50 innings pitched, 52 strikeouts. He's been very difficult on right-handed hitters. 178 batting average against him. Fields is primarily fastball, curveball. Occasionally will throw a changeup.
Rich Hill went 5 innings, allowed 2 runs, 4 hits. He walked 2. He hit a batter. He struck out 5. Story a walk and a line out to left field. He was robbed by Andre Ether on a sinking line drive. And that is a strikeout.
Take a behind-the-scene tour of Coors Field. Group and individual tickets available year-round. Call 303-ROCKIES.
Cargo pop out and a line drive to deep center. And this ball is lined to deep left field, and it is going to short hop the wall. Cargo digging for second will arrive with a double. For a moment where that was hit, Spilly, I know you were thinking the same thing, that it could go out.
The low wall in left field and how hard Cargo hit that baseball. I thought it was going out. Fastball down away from him. The new grip allowing him just to throw the bat head at it. It's good to see Cargo getting this hot. So important for this offense to have a good Cargo.
So one out, and Mark Reynolds will try to drive home Cargo.
We keep talking about Cargo changing his grip and how that has really helped his barrel. You can see this is what we're talking about. He's putting the bat into his fingertips, and that allows him to control the barrel. Before, he had the bat so much in his palm, in his hand twisted, that there was no way for him to control the barrel at all.
Mark Reynolds fouls that pitch back. Mark with a 1-1 count. He faced Fields 2 nights ago in a pinch hitting capacity in the 9th inning and struck out. Second appearance for Fields in this 4-game set. Mark's due for his 29th.
Yeah, I like it.
It is great to see Cargo with that big smile. It is an infectious smile. You made a wonderful observation, Jeff. Jeff Houston, I know, has said similar things. Through all of Cargo's struggles this year, and there are people saying, you know, why are the Rockies running him out there almost on a daily basis still? And you said, Jeff, the same thing, because when he's right and when he gets right, he can do something that few guys can do. That's a good pickup by Turner.
Great play by Justin Turner to his left, sliding, making sure he's able to get that in between hop, resets his feet, and throws it across the infield. Pretty much a drop step for Justin Turner to give him the extra angle. But to your point on Carlos Gonzalez, there's very few people with his pedigree that has had 40 home run seasons and that can make up the entire season in a month. There's nobody in the Rockies organization that has that type of ability to take his place and then have that type of output.
And then again, just to finish that, when you watch him run around, when you watch him do baseball things, you don't say, oh man, all of a sudden he got old. Body looks good, he reacts well, he's had a great year defensively. And hopefully he continues to have a great September. We'll come back. Pitching change for the Dodgers. Rockies up 2-0.
will come on for the Dodgers. I just had a neat thing that I witnessed. Charlie Blackmon actually went up to Raimel Tapia and was talking to him about Avilan, because, you know, Chuck scouts everybody. And then he went and got Tony Diaz, and Diaz went up to Tapia and reiterated things in Spanish. So you know how Charlie is with knowing pitchers. Hopefully this will work out for this AB, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Tony right there informing Raimel Tapia about the veteran Luis Avilan. Avilan, in his last appearance, did not go so well. 2/3 of an inning, gave up 3 hits, a couple of runs against Arizona. This is his first appearance, in fact, in this series.
Well, those numbers show the batting average against him from a lefty, 203. And probably what Charlie was telling Tapia is that this is not a guy that loves his fastball. He uses it 40% of the time. The other, he uses his changeup and slider.
And this is into center field. It's got a drop, but it will not. Making a catch on the run is Chris Taylor. He saved a run. Tapia was aggressive. Taylor, who was playing shallow, able to make the catch. Middle of 6, 2-0 Colorado. Base hit by Nolan in the first, a home run by Nolan in the third. Austin Barnes in the sixth to lead it off against Carlos Estevez. The Rockies' upcoming home schedule brought to you by Remax. That's it for their next homestand. It's a weekend set against the Padres, and then it's right back to this left coast. Rockies in the midst of playing 14 out of 17 on the road in the most critical month of the season, and so far, so good. They've won the first 3 in LA. They're up 2-0 here on this Sunday. And Carlos in a good place, on for the 26th time this year, and that fastball on the outside corner at 98. Let's go just a little hello, how you doing, huh?
Good afternoon.
I want the good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Barnes, a ground out and a walk. And he's got himself a single through the left side.
Celebrate the 10th anniversary of the historic 21 out of 22 Rocktober run with the 2007 teammates and coaches on Friday, September 15th. Enjoy a special pregame celebration and more. Go to Rockies.com/reunion for more details.
Curtis Granderson, an infield hit and a fly ball to center field. Estevez has that pitch line foul.
There's always numbers that pop out that may or may not surprise you. And for Estevez, lefties are swinging at 62% of his pitches. It's 4th highest in baseball.
Well, that swing is another foul ball, and it's 0-2 count. Good pitch. Just missed. 1-2. Chatwood threw 75 pitches. The vast majority that hard two-seamer of his. 5 shutout innings for Chatwood. He did his job and then some. Actually got stronger later in the start. Two runs, 5 hits for the Rockies. They've played clean defensively. The Dodgers have played clean defensively. No runs, 6 hits for LA, and that is a strikeout of Granderson. First out in the 6th inning. Up next for the Dodgers, number 11, Logan Forsythe.
Logan Forsythe.
Carlos just reaches back and blows away Curtis Granderson with the hard fastball. Slightly above the belt. You see it on the Subaru Supermo. That's becoming a challenge now for Dave Roberts, is figuring out what to do with Curtis Granderson. He's struggled pretty significantly since joining the Dodgers. And with Andre Ethier on deck, the problem with Ethier is you can't play him every single day.
And I'm a huge fan of Curtis Granderson as a human being, and he's had a fine career as a baseball player, but you know what you're getting. You're getting a guy that's not going to hit for a lot of average. He's going to hit some home runs, and that's really what he's done for the Dodgers. Hasn't hit for an average beneath 200, but he's hit 4 home runs. He's going to be a great teammate. He's going to play solid defense. So your eyes are wide open when you make that move. It's not like you thought you were getting Tony Gwynn, who hits home runs, right? Dodgers never afraid to take on money. They have the largest payroll in baseball. It's been the story for a while now. 1 ball, 1 strike on Forsythe. Ground ball to third. See if the Rockies can twist one. There's one on the first. Double play. 5-4-3. And we move on to the 7th inning. The Rockies in control, 2-0. Nice job, Carlos Estevez.
Rockies are up 2-0. Our CenturyLink High Speed Challenge poll today is about baseball movies. You can vote on that at AT&T Sportsnet RM. Ryan Hannigan, he always makes me laugh, so I asked Ryan Hannigan if he's got a favorite baseball movie.
Yeah, I go with Field of Dreams because they make the appearance at Fenway. I'm from Boston. It's, you can't go wrong with that one.
Any others come to mind? Have you been to the Field of Dreams?
In Iowa? No. No. Don't spend too much time in Iowa. But what else? There's a ton of good ones. Sandlot was on the other day. It's a good movie. I liked that when I was a kid. Major League, can't go wrong. I mean, there's a lot of good ones. Bull Durham. Bull Durham's a classic. Kevin Costner's, he's killing it. So go with those.
There you go. Ryan Hannigan has not spent a lot of time in Iowa. Dyersville, Iowa is where the Field of Dreams field is.
All our good friends in Iowa just threw them under the bus, so to speak. You went there, Mark, right?
Yeah, we shot Rockies Weekly. There was the All-Star break. It was probably about 4 years ago, maybe. It was neat. I got to sit on that swing on the porch that Costner's on.
Was it pretty neat?
Yeah.
You've never been there?
No, I haven't. I've been to
I
Iowa
have.
many
It's been
times.
great.
I love Iowa, but I've never been to the Field of Dreams. Pat Valaika, that's a fair ball, and Pat's out. He's pinch hitting. That'll bring up Tony Walters. Luis Avedon continues on.
Through the minor leagues, Bull Durham was the movie that we watched every single night. And minor league baseball is really hard to capture, to let people know what it feels like to go on the bus rides, to have those conversations. Bull Durham catches it as well as any baseball movies out there. The problem is most people are used to The Sandlot because everybody played baseball as a kid, so they remember their childhood and playing baseball. So for me, Bull Durham's the best, but more people acknowledge The Sandlot because everybody has been a kid and played the game. They haven't gone through the grind of the minor league season.
But you know what? This next generation, of which your kids are part of, and my kids are part of, not playing Sandlot anymore. Everything's organized. Unis, travel. Little Leagues have their own team bus now. Go with the program. 2-0 on Tony. Rockies would love to try to build another run, at least. Leading 2-0. We've been locked in at 2-0 since the third when Nolan hit one out.
One little tidbit about Bull Durham.
Yes.
Written by Ron Shelton. Went to Santa Barbara High School.
Ron Shelton was in the booth the other day. This ball's well hit to right, but it's at Granderson. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Charlie Blackmon. Plays center field for the Rockies. Having a nice season.
Good player.
Yep.
Has a beard.
Does have a beard. Where's the number that you made famous in Lodo? Charlie, a walk, hit by a pitch, and a strikeout. Last night, 2 for 5, including a double and an RBI single. This is on 2 hops to Logan Forsythe. So the Rockies go in order against Avalon in the 7th. We will stretch, and then we will proceed with baseball. The Rockies up 2-0. game summary. Nolan a base hit in the first inning to drive home Charlie Blackmon. Rockies had a 1-0 lead. They'd actually load the bases in that first inning with nobody out. Didn't get any additional runs. So Nolan said, you know what, I'm going to make it easy. Hit one into the Dodger, or in the neighborhood of the Dodger bullpen to make it 2-0. That's where we stand. That's our BMW Ultimate Performance Review. Mike Dunn is on for the Rockies. Andre Ethier was scheduled, but the crowd reacting because pinch hitting is Yasiel Puig here in the bottom of the 7th. We'll get Kike Hernandez pinch hitting behind Puig. And the first pitch is popped up, playable. Cargo is there, and that is the first out.
It's a big first out for the Rockies late in the game, and for Yasiel Puig, he's 0 for 12 now as a pinch hitter on the season.
So now the pitcher spot, Kike Hernandez will pinch hit. Second appearance in the series for Mike. He pitched a scoreless inning on Thursday. Came in after 6 strong innings from John Gray. And that's downstairs, 2-0.
So for Mike Dunn, we've seen a resurgence of him in the second half. And if you look at the Rockies on the road, the bullpen has been fantastic. Well, part of Mike Dunn getting back to the Mike Dunn the Rockies were expecting, he's second in all relief pitchers in throwing his slider the most.
And that's fallen behind 3-0.
We pointed out, well, with Neshek about how there's very few pitchers in baseball that throw a slider and a fastball more than 40% of the time. 40% of the time they throw a fastball, 40% of the time they throw a slider. Well, the Rockies bullpen has become a unit that throws fastball and slider at that high of a percentage.
.30 is in there, 3-1. And that's there, 3-2. Penn in such a good place. And I think one guy just passing the baseball to the next guy. Kind of like you say when an offense gets hot, just pass the baton. That's what they're doing right now in the Rockies pen. 3-2 and a strikeout. He came all the way back to get Hernandez. 2 outs in the 7th.
3-2 slider. We pointed out because that's been Dunn's pitch. Second half, nobody's thrown the slider more than Mike Dunn. Perfectly located. Kike is expecting fastball. Swing straight over the top of that pitch.
It's a definition of a back foot slider. It's fastball, fastball, fastball to a hitter until you've already committed, and it's too late when you realize it's not a heater and it's not anywhere near the zone. Chris Taylor, 2 outs, leadoff man.
I guess if you wanted to raise money, you could just use the Rockies bullpen and have a slider-thon.
Well, Adam Ottavino is going to figure into this ball game at some point here. And you know that's his pitch. Another slider. 1 ball, 1 strike on Taylor. Mike's ready, 2-1. Here's the 3-1, and it's right at DJ, and he picks it off the ground, throws to first. Mike Dunn works a 1-2-3-7. To the 8 we go. 2-0 Colorado. DJ will lead off. Colorado Rockies baseball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Top of the 8th inning in Tinseltown with the Rockies up 2-0 on the Dodgers, along with Ryan Spilborghs and a drippy, sweaty, wet Mark Stout. I'm Drew Goodman. Curtis Granderson moves from right to left. Puig, who pinch hit for Ethier, is in right field. And Walker Buehler, top prospects in the Dodgers organization out of Vanderbilt University, on for the second time in this series. Got a big arm. And DJ fires at that first pitch, fouls it off. DJ a single and 3 at bats. Arenado and Story to follow.
Buehler was the best part of Thursday's game for the Dodgers, making his major league debut, touching 100 miles an hour.
Well, I guess Dave Roberts thought enough of it that he's got him in a critical game here, down by 2 runs.
The Dodgers have 39 players on their roster right now. It feels like spring training at times.
This is to center field. It'll drop, a base hit for DJ.
Third baseman number 28. Nolan
I know with the
Arenado.
frequency in this series that you have mentioned that the player part of you and the player part of you that was involved in 2 postseasons does not like it.
It's too many people.
Too crowded.
It's too crowded. Messes up routines.
Got too many guys on scholarship all of a sudden, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't feel right.
Nolan a single, a home run, a fly ball to right field, takes ball 1.
I love rewarding players for having a great year. But at some point, when you're trying to get your squad together and play as a unit, you need to make sure what players you think might be on your playoff roster. And the ones that have no shot of being on the playoff roster, time to begin the offseason training program.
Well, Walker Buehler has a Colorado connection as he falls behind 3-0 on Nolan. His family, they were in Kentucky and he went to Vanderbilt. They moved a couple years ago to Colorado. His little brother Brady plays baseball at Valor Christian. That's ball 4. So the Buehlers, I'm sure, are here, my guess is, with him making his major league debut.
Shortstop number 27,
His
Trevor
brother may
Story.
be at home getting ready for school tomorrow, watching his big brother pitch, but they're Colorado residents now. Story with 2 men on, and for you, especially right on right, I know what you're thinking.
It's drag bunt time. If you don't want to just naturally lay down the sacrifice bunt, go ahead. Go for a push bunt. Cody Bellinger's playing as deep on the first base side as possible. You can push it towards first. You can bunt it towards third. There's hits available. You don't have to just sacrifice and give yourself up for an out.
Trevor was swinging. It's 0-1. He's looking at Stu Cole. There's the big difference against lefties. He's played at an all-star clip. He has struggled against righties. 1-1. One and two. Cargo's on deck. Rockies trying to add on here in the 8th, up 2-0. One out. Cargo coming up.
Right fielder number 5, Carlos Gonzalez.
Cargo lined a double of left field corner his last time up. Dave Roberts still talking to Buehler. For a moment when he came out, you know, he's got 4 lefties down there. He's used Avilan. That there's no way he'd allow the kid to pitch to Cargo, but that's exactly what he's going to allow to happen. And in fact, there's nobody up right now as you glance down at the Dodger pen. .99 on that fastball. Buehler threw 2 innings on Thursday. Struck out 2, allowed only 1 hit. The 1 hit was Cargo. Against the shift, he bounced one the other way.
Just watching Buehler pitch. He has some mannerisms of Justin Verlander. Mechanically, the way he follows through.
Well, we said it in the first inning. The bases loaded, nobody out. After a run was already in, the Rockies did not score. First and second here, nobody out. You got the strikeout of Story. Find some way to get a run home. Here's the 2-1. Two balls, 2 strikes. Rockies scored 20 runs in the first 3 games of this series. Missed with the hook. It's 3-2.
Well, let's see if Cargo can shorten up the swing, put a ball in play. Opposite field has been open, as he said. And when Cargo's in that place where he can hit the ball, hit it hard opposite field, he can also now pull it.
3-2. Ball 4. And they're loaded up for Mark Reynolds.
First baseman number 12, Mark Reynolds.
Mark today, a strikeout, a fly ball to the warning track in center, and a ground ball to third.
Have to score this inning.
1-0. And now a kid that's got to be nervous. He just made his major league debut 3 days ago. And he's fallen behind Reynolds 1-0. The bases are loaded. And typically, as we have said many times this year, Mark Reynolds will not expand. He's going to make you throw a strike. Three hits in the series for Reynolds. Two and oh.
One of those key spots as a hitter, 2-0, knowing a guy has lost his command. You want to be aggressive with the fastball. That's what happens. You'll end up chasing a pitch just out of your comfort zone.
With him throwing close to 100 miles an hour, the decision has to be made in less than 0.4 of a second whether to fire the bat. 2-1. And 3-1. Now this is where the savvy and the experience of Mark Reynolds, you hope, pays off. He's going to put it in a little pill box as to whether or not he's going to swing. 3-1. All of the heat in the world is on Walker Buehler. Three and two. Tony Zingrani just getting up. 3-2 on Mark. Bases full of Rockies. And this ball to left center field and deep and gone. Grand slam, Mark Reynolds. How do you like that? 6-0 Colorado. You want a knockout punch for a great weekend? You may have just witnessed it. Mark Reynolds with home run number 29. He now has 93 ribbies. How pretty was that? His 5th career slam.
Here's the exclamation point for the weekend. Center cut, 3-2. Mark Reynolds looking for a pitch he can handle. You know that he shortened up his swing. That's 99 miles an hour coming in, 105 going out.
Six nothing Colorado. Gotta love it.
Pay your attention, please. Now pitching.
Six to nothing in the top of the 8th inning. Let's take a look at that swing one more time. 3-2 count after fouling a pitch off. Reynolds gets one he can handle. Bat speed through the zone. You can see the flat plane and the reaction of the Dodgers just watching the ball fly out of the Dodger Stadium on the Subaru Supermo, knowing on a 3-2 pitch that Walker could not walk in a run. Mark does not miss a center cut fastball. What a drop for the Dodgers.
Well, you know what? When teams get on a roll, and you know this, Billy, it's a different guy every day, it seems like. Mark Reynolds had a nice series, throwing out a few hits. He just leveled a kaboom on a Sunday afternoon at Dodger Stadium. I mean, let's be honest, it's still a 2-run game. A little bloop and a blast, and the Dodgers are even. Well, the Dodgers now are in some interesting territory. They've lost 14 out of 15 coming in. They also this year had a stretch where they won 14 out of 15. Heck, they've had a stretch this year where they won 13 out of 14. They've had a remarkable year. They're only the 4th team, though, in the history of the game to win 14 of 15 in a season and also have a stretch where they lost 14 out of 15. The last time it happened, the 59 Kansas City A's. If this stays fair, it'll be a hit. Does not for Tapia. It has not happened since 1959. Dave Roberts has had the same press conference after games for a week straight now. I don't think he's looking forward to the one today.
He can't be. And it's not on Dave Roberts.
Nope. Players play.
Players have to play. You put the players in the best situations possible, and then it's up to them to perform.
Cingrani ahead of Tapia. 2 strikes.
The Dodgers immediately after today's game will travel to San Francisco. They finally will have an off day after the San Francisco series, but they're still on the road. They're about to have a long road trip, taking on the Nationals and then 4 against the Phillies.
We discussed this yesterday. Whenever they play the Giants, the old line about throwing out the record books apply. Giants having a miserable year, but they're going to give their best shot to the Dodgers because they want to continue their misery in the worst way. And then, as you said, you're going to go play the National League East champs for the 2nd straight year, the Nationals. And then it's on to Philadelphia. And for Philadelphia, that'll be their World Series, right?
It will be. And I'll tell you what, regardless of what the Giants record or the Padres record, and even in years past with the Diamondbacks and the Rockies, nobody within division likes the other team to win, especially if it's a playoff team. Any chance you can to make it miserable for a team within your division on its way to the playoffs, you revel in it.
Yep, stays 3-2 on Tapia. Tom Murphy has come out on deck. Pitcher spot is due next. Grand slam by Reynolds made it 6-0. Another point on that National series. Nationals are sitting on 88 wins. Dodgers are sitting on 92. It may have seemed inconceivable 10 days ago that Washington could end up with the best record in the National League, and if there were, if they were to get to an NLCS and there was a Game 7, it would be played in Washington as opposed to anywhere but Los Angeles if LA had moved on. But that is now a distinct possibility. So this isn't a go through the motions deal, as that's ripped into right, a base hit for Tapia. Yeah, the Nationals are going to come out looking for W's.
They are, but at the same time, the Nationals have clinched. They clinched today. They're the first team in baseball to have clinched. So they may or may not, depending on their starters, especially with the pitching staff. It may be one of those 5 and dive. They're not going to push the starters hard, knowing that you're about to get in the playoffs.
It all began with the Rockies beating the unbeatable Clayton Kershaw 9-1 on Thursday. In one of his shortest starts of his career. 3 hitters in, Nolan a 3-run home run. If you're at home wondering about etiquette as Tapia with great speed gets checked on twice, it's free game for me. It's a 6-run game with still 2 innings left offensively for the Dodgers. As much respect and as close as Buddy Black is for Dave Roberts. Look what happened in Arizona yesterday.
Cingrani has one of the best moves in baseball, trying to pick off runners, and may not be picking over to prevent Tapia from stealing. He may be picking over to try to see if he can get the out.
1-2 on Murphy. Walters on deck. I think at the very least what you want to accomplish here the rest of this 8th inning is to make sure that you flip your lineup over for the 9th. This gets away, and Tapia is going to move up.
I like that element that Tapia brings to the table. Dirtball read. And Austin Barnes, we pointed out earlier, has not been good at throwing out base runners.
He's got middle infield quickness. Look how fast he got to this baseball.
Well, he made it close. So there's a story about Tony Cingrani after his junior year at Rice University. He was so bad his junior year that his coaching staff asked him if he wanted to even play the next year.
Wow. Questions you don't want to receive. Hey, Tony. In the office. Oh, it's been a rough year. Want to just be a student?
Or we can simplify your delivery a bit. We'll help you throw strikes and we'll see what happens. And that's what they did. He ended up being one of their closers and had a fantastic year.
Murphy is gone, 2 outs, and that'll bring up Walters.
Catcher number 14, Tony Walters.
Tony, a line out, a strikeout, and he also hit a line drive to fairly deep right field. Put a couple good swings on it this afternoon. 6-0 Colorado. And that also is a strike. Scott Oberg is warming up in the Rockies pen. Looks like he'll work for the 3rd time in this series. Worked Thursday, worked yesterday. He's been throwing the ball well. And Tony with a base hit. Here comes Tapia. He'll score. Walters makes it 7-0. That a baby Tony Walters. His 15th ribby of the year.
It's taco time. It's going to be a happy flight for the Rockies because so many guys, as long as this score holds true, so many players in today's baseball game contributed. And for Tony, it's been a struggle at the plate on the Subaru Supermode. Pitch off the plate. Cingrani is very difficult for lefties to hit. Tony lined in his first bat right out at Justin Turner, and now he gets rewarded.
Well, everybody gets tacos tomorrow. Do not forget to go to your participating Taco Bell location tomorrow. JR's fired up about it. Between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Liv Moss at Taco Bell. JR, we'll mail you yours. Unless you're planning on a quick trip to our fine state. Charlie, the 9th man to hit here in the 8th inning. And he goes down. That was an impactful inning for the Rockies. The library that is Dodger Stadium looks up at the scoreboard, and Colorado has 7 runs, and their team doesn't have any. Grand slam for Mark Reynolds.
Today, it's our Century Link High Speed Challenge, and we talked to some of the guys about it. And Drew and Spilly said Sandlot, you know, it's like baseball. It's like what we grew up with. Pat Neshek agrees.
Favorite is easily the Sandlot. Yeah, that was, you know, it's kind of just like how we grew up. Kind of, we had a neighborhood with a lot of kids that would come play at our yard, and then we had another yard. One of our friends had one, and we kept stats and all that stuff, and we hung out together, and we did all that kind of stuff. It kind of mimicked it a little bit, and they were pretty good. I mean, my brother, he played on a team that went to the Little League World Series the next year after ours in Williamsport, so it was a pretty tight-knit group, and it was a lot of fun.
When I was a kid, we used to have some really good games of sock ball. Just took socks and rolled them up and went with that. Did you guys do that kind of stuff?
I think I've played every kind of baseball with every kind of object possible in the house. And we used to, you know, those old little Nerf basketballs.
Oh, yeah.
You could, you could throw every pitch with them. Corey Seager fouls off that pitch. It's 1-2. Oberg facing Seager to begin the 8th inning with the Rockies up 7-0. And we used to have epic games there, and of course there was wiffle ball. And then we play with a tennis ball because you could bring, you know, you could bring it with a tennis ball.
How about the Super Balls? Did you ever hit those just for fun?
They go far.
Yeah. You didn't get them back usually.
No.
It was fun.
Hit the multicolored Super Ball into oblivion. 1-2 on Seager. 2-2.
That was my favorite growing up. Played against my buddy. He was a huge Dodger fan. I was a huge Dodger fan. It was also at the time where the Oakland A's were a big rival. So we would just mimic players.
Swung on and missed. Seager's gone. 1 out in the 8th. That was the most fun because, you know, if it was a left-handed guy, you hit lefty. I'm a little older than you. When I grew up, even though I was a Mets fan growing up in New York, the Reds were the dominant team, Big Red Machine. So it was fun. You beat Joe Morgan. You know, you got to be Ken Griffey Sr., Cesar Geronimo, because I love to hit lefty.
I used to always tell parents, hey, let your kid mimic different swings from major league players because there might be a movement in action that the kid picks up and they realize, oh, this is how this part of the swing works. So if you're watching at home and you like Nolan's swing, hit like Nolan. Do DJ's swing. Try Justin Turner's swing.
And if you can mimic what they do and the results they get, you're on your way. Here's the 1-1 on Turner. Fouled off, 1-2. Actually 0-2. Let me correct that. That misses. 1-2.
Oberg changed arm angle, threw more across his body on that last pitch, giving a little Rich Hill. Let's see if there was something that felt awkward. So let's see if Oberg did anything that might have hurt himself. There's a little bit of a pause. Tony looks at him, make sure he's okay. Quickly runs out. He looks into the dugout as well to say, did you see what I saw?
1-2. Last fastball missed at 98. Turner a single and 3 at bats. 372 career hitter against the Rockies. And he is gone, out number 2 in the 8th inning.
First baseman number 35.
Celebrate Latin cultures during
Bellinger.
Dia de los Rockies on Saturday, September 16th, presented by Sprint, featuring Latin music, entertainment, pregame Latin cultural celebration, and more. The first 10,000 fans will also receive a Los Rockies t-shirt. Those are sweet.
Bellinger 0 for 2 and a walk. Ball 1. Rockies 4 outs from improving to 37 and 34 out on the road. Inching closer to their second ever season where they'd be above 500 away from Coors Field. Team Spilly played on 2009, the only club, 41 and 40. 2-0 Bellinger, 2-1.
In between last half inning, Dodgers PA made the announcement that there would be no more running the bases. Usually on Sundays they allow the kids to run the bases, and we were teasing the Dodgers announcers not to punish the kids because the Dodgers can't score.
The Dodgers may, as an organization, run the bases. It's 2-2 because it's been so long since they've done that. But boom, right? Listen, the Dodgers, I'm sure, are going to have to remind themselves. Maybe they've been doing it frequently of late. They still had an incredible year. They still will wake up tomorrow with the best record in baseball. But this is a funk that is having them shake their heads and their fan base in a minor panic. 3-2, and he went. End of inning, strike out the side. Scott Oberg. We are through 8. The Rockies have all the runs. It's 7-0 at Dodger Stadium. DJ LeMahieu to lead things off against Wilmer Font. Dodgers make some changes as he robs Segedin's in at third base.
This is our Susan Strand's favorite player, Font. Pitches very boldly.
That's clever. There he is. DJ's 2 for 4. DJ started the rally in the 8th inning with a base hit. Nolan followed with a walk. Trevor struck out, but then Cargo walked. And Mark Reynolds on a 3-2 pitch, a 99-mile-an-hour fastball from Walker Buehler, hit a line drive grand slam to left center. And the Rockies weren't done. Tapia had a base hit, moved up on a wild pitch, and he would score on a base hit by Tony Walters. 7-0 Colorado.
The beauty of this series for the Rockies has been that everybody has contributed. Whether it was the bullpen, we saw how many guys have stepped up and shut down the Dodgers. The offense. 12 different Rockies scored a run in this series. 10 different Rockies have had an RBI in this 4-game series. And 9 different Rocky batters have had an extra base hit. That's a pretty good offensive approach.
Well, those are 2 awkward swings you don't see from DJ much.
Number 28,
1 out.
Arenado.
Well, you're absolutely right. And we would be remiss if we didn't review the work of the bullpen. So far, 15 innings. They'll get 1 more inning of work. They've allowed 1 run in 15 innings. They've allowed only 6 hits. They've struck out 20 in those 15 innings, which computes to exactly 5 in each ball game. Curveball from Font's a strike on Nolan. Nolan has been on base 3 times. Single and a home run early. Fly ball in the 5th to right, and then he walked, as I mentioned, and scored last inning. Trace Thompson's in the game in right field. Charlie Culberson's now at short. Forsythe got it. That's 2nd out. That'll bring up Story. Trevor 0 for 3 and a walk. He takes a strike. So the Rockies, when they go down to Arizona, they'll begin a 4-game set tomorrow. It'll be Kyle Freeland for Colorado. They'll face Zach Greinke. And then John Gray, Taijuan Walker on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, it's German Marquez, Patrick Corbin. Thursday, Bettis and Zach Godley. This ball is well hit left center field, and this ball is gone. Home run, Trevor Story. Make it 8-0. '21st home run for Story. His 2nd in the series.
Rockies are just piling on. Fans were not oohing and ahhing here at Dodger Stadium.
That's their 28th run in this 4-game series. This is Dodger Stadium, where bats go to die. Cargo at the plate. He takes ball 1. Double and a walk today.
You can tell Font gets a lot of awkward swings. We saw DJ take some swings we've never seen before.
That's a fair ball down the line. And Cargo is going to end up at second with a double, and this ball goes.
Oh, this reaction is going to be
this is going to be priceless.
Number 12, Mark Reynolds.
Dave Roberts saying, is this the same team I managed for 4.5 months?
Cargo's in such a great place offensively, gets a pitch he can handle. Font led the PCL in WHIP ERA. Subaru Supermo, you see how he's able now to sit on his backside, allow the ball to travel, and then he can just throw the barrel right down on the pitch.
Cargo's now sitting on 29 doubles. Had to look twice at that, as we know how tough a season it's been for Carlos, but throw out 30 doubles in a season. Not too shabby. Here's the owner of the grand slam to break this game wide open, Mark Reynolds. First grand slam in a couple of years. 5th of his career.
What an impressive series for the Rockies. Coming in here, you're taking on the Dodgers' best. The Dodgers are finally able to put together their lineup that they haven't had in forever.
This is in a right field, and Thompson will make the catch to end the inning. Trevor Story puts a little exclamation point on the weekend for the Rockies with a solo shot. 8-0 going to the 9th. Bears with nothing to hide. That's transparency by the Tavern Downtown. Visit the Tavern Downtown after Rockies home games and get 2-for-1 draft beers with your same-day ticket. And by StubHub, looking for great seats, head to StubHub, the official marketplace of the Colorado Rockies. The Rockies have gone on a shopping spree at the Dodgers' expense. 28 runs in the series, and Adam Ottavino on to get the last 3 outs. And yes, the brooms are out.
Third base is 24, Ryan McMahon.
The Rockies basically
Mike
bought the
Tauchman
entire
in center
supermarket
field.
on the Dodgers' expense.
Leading off the bottom of the ninth
Rockies
inning,
with a
pitch
couple
number
of changes
61.
in addition to Ottavino. Amaristas in second. And Ryan McMahon's in third base. And Mike Tauchman's in center. There's Ryan. Otto's first pitch misses, ball one on Alex Verdugo. And Verdugo hits this ball well to left center field, really well, and it's gone. There goes the shutout. Big Bronx cheer somewhat for the former Brooklyn Dodgers.
Nice swing by Verdugo. He's the top prospect in the Dodgers organization. They love the athleticism. They like his swing. And now with the opposite field power on display.
.28 runs scored by the Rockies, the most by any visiting opponent in 4 years in a series. The Giants scored 29 here in mid-September of 2013. Culberson fouls this pitch off.
There are certain series for a team where it brings everyone together because every player had a part in it. In a 4-game series like this for the Rockies, where you took down Clayton Kershaw, you took down Yu Darvish, the big trade deal.
You were facing all the big guys.
Every single one of them. You scored a run against Kenley Jansen. Your bullpen held up. Cody Bellinger did nothing.
This is shallow center, and it's going to drop. Jock Peterson's going to pinch hit for Forsythe.
And hitting for the Dodgers, number 31, Jock Peterson.
Ball one. And 2-0. So Dodgers left tomorrow off. Actually, no, they don't. They have tomorrow off. When did you say they had an off day?
They have it in 4 days.
Okay.
On the
Yeah.
flight to Washington after the Giants.
Yeah, they play a 3-game set in San Francisco beginning tomorrow night. Kenan Maeda against Chris Stratton. Stratton's throwing the ball well. Well, you don't want to do this.
No, you don't want to give Dodger fans or the team.
More than anything, you don't want to have to get one of your teammates up to finish the ball game if you're Adam Ottavino. Home run, bloop single, and now he's 3-0 on Peterson.
You might have to.
Might have to.
fielder, number 47, Trace Thompson.
Trace Thompson coming to the plate.
There's movement down in the Rockies bullpen. Some guys are starting to move around. Darren Holmes is walking to his familiar spot at the back of the mound, getting ready for information on who might need to start warming up.
Sliders in there on Thompson for a strike. And that's a little bit below the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike. This was the closer today, Jake McGee, with Greg Holland down. We're hoping to avoid using him. This will get an out.
Third baseman, number 25.
This will be Rob Seguin. That's a slider for strike 1. One on Seguin. Good fastball. 1-2. We've made note of this the last 3-4 weeks. Velocity's been up a tick for Adam Ottavino. He's battled, as you know, command issues most of this year, though. We've had outings where we've seen him just almost exclusively throw sliders. He's been throwing that fastball more and more. Here's the 1-2, and that one missed by 3 feet. 2-2.
Ottavino moved to the middle portion of the rubber so he can make sure that he's in line with the strike zone. Earlier in the year, he was on the third base side, so he was farther over and could not find any fastball command from that position.
Three and 2. Home run by Verdugo leading off the inning against Ottavino. Then a bloop single and a walk. Fly ball by Thompson. The only out. 8-1 Colorado. And Ottavino gets the second out with a strikeout of Seguin.
Number 3.
Time to check our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. You know the play. 2-0 Colorado, bases loaded. 99-mile-an-hour heater on a full count pitch. And Mark Reynolds loses one to left center field. And just like that, the Rockies were in front 6-0. Fifth career slam for Mark Reynolds. That's our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Chris Taylor, a few starters still in the ball game for the Dodgers. He's 0 for 4. You talk about the big four. Last couple days playing together for the first time in a while. They call them their big four: Taylor, Seager, Turner, Bellinger. Top of the lineup. They were 24-4 when they were all together at the top of the lineup. Well, today, Taylor 0 for 4, Seager 1 for 4, Turner 1 for 4, Bellinger 0 for 3 and a walk.
Well, they were 46-8 if they were just playing in the same lineup together. So not just 1 through 4.
1-1 on Taylor. Fastball at 96.
That's a good spot for Ottavino in that Subaru strike zone inside portion where he can tie up Chris Taylor. I mean, everything was lined up for the Dodgers to feel good about themselves, get themselves back in order. Kershaw, Darvish, Alex Wood, Rich Hill today. They're feeling that the Rockies have been putting pressure on themselves.
See Adam talking to himself.
Not only did the Rockies beat those guys, I mentioned scoring a run off Kenley Jansen, but their top prospects, the Walker Buehler, punching a hole in him, scoring a run on Font, who's probably the pitcher of the year out of the PCL.
2-2. And in the big picture, so much focus on the Rockies. Their imminent sweep in a 4-game set at Dodger Stadium. Huge, no question about it. But in the big picture, let's not forget, Milwaukee and St. Louis keep putting pressure on by winning. The Rockies have to win, doesn't matter who they're playing. And now out on the road, they're on the cusp of their first 6-game win streak away from home in a while. Strike 3, end of ball game. The Rockies win it 8-1 on this Sunday, and they sweep the Dodgers 4 straight for just the second time in franchise history. The only other time, 1993, in an August 4-game set, the first year of this organization. What a weekend for Colorado. The pen was outstanding. They outscored the Dodgers 28-11, and they improved to 78-65 as we take you to Jenny and Huey back in Denver. Jenny, it's all yours.
And a musical performance by 3-time Grammy nominee Crowder. All fans who would like to stay for the event are invited to relocate to the field level, third baseline behind